Hello, I'm Mink. Um, I'm sure you're wondering what this is. Um, this is a video of me talking you to sleep. I'm gonna use the lightest voice I can to make sure that you feel soothed by my voice and that you fall asleep. This is just going to be me rambling about certain topics. I didn't really have anything planned, so it's probably going to be mostly about me. So, I mean, if you're interested in that, um, I feel like we talk about ourselves a lot. We enjoy talking about ourselves. One of the greatest things you can ever do to make a relationship is to get the other person to talk about the things that they're interested in and the things that they like. It's a very useful thing because all you have to do to make friends is just ask them questions. And I've never met a person that didn't really like asking or that didn't really like answering questions about themselves, you know? I know I like getting questions about the things that I do, the things that I say. It makes me quite happy. I get a little adrenaline boost every time somebody asks me a question. I feel like questions keep us going, you know? I feel like, we sort of need all the answers to everything we want to know. It's another thing too. We really don't know much in this universe, and that's not something we often think about. It can be quite scary not to know a whole lot about this universe. It can be scary not to know anything about anything, but it can also be comforting because we don't have to take responsibility for the things that we don't know about. Like, for example, if I say, trying to think of a good example here. I don't know, push someone down the steps and they break their leg. Well, I didn't know they were going to break their leg. Sometimes when you fall down the stairs, you get a little hurt. Now, I never push anybody down the stairs. I don't think that's a very useful thing to do. But, it's just an example. It's kind of weird that I went to that example, right? Sometimes people are like that though. Sometimes we just go to the weirdest examples to make a case in point for what we're trying to say. I had a buddy of mine who always said the most absurd stuff. Just out of the blue. Just about anything. Those are what we call fools. There's a common saying that fools talk because they feel like they need to, but wise men talk when they're spoken to. I like to think that I only talk when I'm spoken to. Growing up as a very quiet person, it's true. I never really spoke much because I never really had anything to say. But at the same time, I had a lot to say. It's just that nobody ever asked me any questions. Nobody wanted to know about me. And that's fine. You don't need to know me. But I'm sure if you click this video, you were expecting something, right? Now this information that I tell you now is going to help you fall asleep. We're about 5 minutes in, so you might not be asleep right now. Some things that help me fall asleep are just lying still and breathing. I do a 5, 6, 7 breathing exercise where you, in fact, we can try it together. You simply breathe through your nose for 5 seconds and keep it in there for 6 seconds. And then let it all out. 7 seconds. And keep doing that for about 2 or 3 more times. It puts your mind in a state of calm. The breathing in through your nose is important. Every step of it is pretty important. I'd say the most important is the 6 seconds that you keep the air in. It's very hard to keep air circulating in your lungs for such a long amount of time before you have to let it out. And then out through the mouth, because the mouth is larger than the nose. That's something that helps me fall asleep. Another thing that helps me fall asleep is noise. Then that can sound a bit counterintuitive because, when you're trying to go to sleep, don't you want to not hear a lot of noise? And for some people that's true. But a little white noise or ocean noises or Tibetan bowls, they can help you fall asleep. And hopefully this is helping me fall asleep. Hopefully my voice is at a low enough volume that it can soothe your mind and get it ready to go to sleep. Another thing that helps me go to sleep is thinking. I like to do a mental review of the day, see where I went right, where I went wrong, the positive thoughts that I had, the negative ones, and I like to look for things that benefited me and things that didn't benefit me. I think it's quite healthy to look into the things spiritually that keep you down and then learn to avoid those things. We often get in our own heads. I know I get a lot into my own head, and that can cause me to spiral. But we can't let that happen to us. We can't let the emotions that we feel about ourselves or about other people or about other things cloud our mind. We have to keep a level head at all times as much as we can, because if we don't, then we lose ourselves. And it's not fun to lose yourself. Another thing I wanted to talk about is my life. I have a pretty boring life. I go to work 4 days a week, and I have off 3 days out of those weeks. And when I have off, I try to occupy myself. I try to draw. I learn about Buddhism. Buddhism is something I've been quite interested in lately. It's a very fascinating topic. I try to do something new every day, and I like to better myself. I think we all like to better ourselves, try to be the best person that we can be. And I try to do that every single day. But sometimes it feels like for every step I take forward, I take 10 steps back. There's always something negative that pops up, and it draws me back, so to speak. And that's why it's important to analyze those things, to catch them in the act. Because if we let it go unchecked, then we'll always be taking 10 steps back. You know, I like to see my life as a flight of stairs. You know, each step I take is towards something. You know, I started walking the steps when I was born, and we end the steps when we die. And every step forward that we take is us committing to moving forward. Now, people will tell you that it's okay to just pause on the staircase for a little while, to take a breather, that it's okay to take a few steps back. But sometimes we get trapped in that mentality. And we take multiple steps back. We're not sure where to go. And sometimes it feels like the flight of stairs that we walk is too overwhelming. That it's really hard to keep walking, that our legs are about to give out. But we can never let our legs give out. The staircase is too important. The end destination is too important. And in life, there are other paths of stairs we can take. You know, it doesn't have to be just one staircase for eternity. It can be multiple paths that we take. But we don't have to stay on those paths forever. But no matter what, we have to keep marching the staircase. We can never get off. That's what life is. It's a never-ending staircase. Well, not a never-ending staircase. Eventually the staircase does end. But it's up to you to decide when it ends. But you can't end it too early. That got a little deep. So, let's try to lighten the mood. If you're still awake at this point, hopefully you fall asleep soon. I hope I'm not keeping you up. If I am, you're welcome to turn the video off and put on some white noise. I could try to edit some in for you. But let's try to lighten the mood. Let's talk about panda bears. You know, Panda bears are really fascinating because despite the fact that they're kind of a useless animal, they don't really contribute to their environment, and they can actually be invasive to other environments and really do a lot of damage. And they don't really eat much. They just kind of eat eucalyptus, which isn't really nutritious, but something that they eat anyway. Despite the fact that they don't contribute much, they're still alive. And it's because we keep them alive. Why? Because they sell. People love pandas. People love to go see pandas. Isn't it strange that we can keep an entire species alive just because we want to? That power is enormous. They never asked to be saved. Nobody ever asked us to be the protector. But we took on that role. It's fascinating how we can sort of play God with the animals around us. We can decide which animals go extinct and which animals don't go extinct. We are at the top of the food chain, and yet we're still afraid of some of those animals, even the small ones, like bugs. I myself am afraid of bugs. I used to think it was just spiders, but now I get a little twitchy around flies. Flies is what I meant to say. Around flies, around centipedes. I'm not as twitchy anymore, but and it's kind of unfortunate because bugs are fascinating little creatures themselves. You know, they're tiny little things with their own way of life that isn't too dissimilar from other ways of life. You know, bees have colonies, and so do ants. And they have kings, they have queens, and they all provide for each other in some way. And not a lot of animals do that for each other. Only families will protect each other, but never an entire colony of people, a sort of ant or bee society. Just doesn't exist in some other animal groups. It exists with us. We built societies. We all have jobs, and we all provide for one another. And sometimes we take that for granted. Sometimes we just want to be off on our own, and we don't want to provide for anyone but ourselves. But it's comforting to be a part of something that provides not just for you, but for other people. You know? It's, and we have a lot of institutions out there that help provide for other people and keep them safe and keep things stable. And those institutions are important. They keep us grounded. They keep us on Earth. And without them, we'd be We'd be in all sorts of chaos. We'd be too individualistic. We wouldn't care for our fellow man. Could you imagine a world like that? Where nobody cared for any of us? Nobody wanted to care for anybody? Not even the people closest to them? It's a crazy world. We're lucky to live in one where there's somebody close to you, at least one person that cares and will provide you with anything you need. Maybe not everything, but whatever you need, they'll at least be there for you. And they'll try to help in some way. It's beautiful. It's love. Something I was thinking about today when I was at work, and this is a little unrelated, but I was thinking about trust. And I feel like as you grow up, the grown-ups, the people that are older and supposedly wiser than you realize are just as problematic as you were, just as ignorant. Not all of them are like that. There are plenty of good people out there, but not all adults are perfect. Nobody's perfect. Some adults are ignorant, some are hateful. And growing up is realizing that there are good people out there and there are hateful people out there. And it's really hard to differentiate, and it can lead to a lot of trust issues because the people that seem nice on the outside might not be so on the inside. We don't know everybody's history. We can't do background checks on everybody. Not off of a first impression, after all. Anyway, we're at about 23 minutes. Hopefully, by now you're asleep. If not, I'm going to end this part here, and I'm going to continue it in another part. And hopefully by the end of that one, you are asleep. But if you're not, here are some things to think about. You can think about your own mortality. You can think about trust. You can think about love. You can think about the things around us, the animals, and your fellow man. I'm going to end this here. Maybe I'll make an extended compilation, so when this ends, the next thing will continue. So, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next part.